Well, we've been asking for a new steel ship, and here it is, the Tier 8 Salem, American Premium Heavy Cruiser. In a nutshell, it's a Tier 8 Des Moines. It's currently available for 25,000 steel in the forge, and for the record, Missouri had its price slashed to 17,500 steel, it being a tier lower as of this update. So if you're looking to spend your steel, there's something else you could spend it on. We'll delve into the Salem here in depth, but first a little update on what is going on in this match. It's 5 versus 5, and of course I hate these small matches. They annoy me to no end, especially when I'm trying to get content for you guys. But like that Schlieffen match I posted a few months ago, we actually managed to get all 5 kills in this one. So that should make things a little more interesting for you guys to watch. And a shout out to 2 guys on the enemy team. Lieutenant Commander Aaron is a guy from the community. We seem to get matched against each other quite a bit. And Big BO, he has his own YouTube channel and he is also on the enemy team, so GG's to those guys. Another reason I wanted to show you guys the replay in the background is because Salem here is fitted with an epic main battery mod and a legendary main battery mod. So we're gonna get to showcase both of them maxed out in one game. The Epic module, it's going to decrease our reload time an extra 2% every 30,000 damage, and the Legendary module buffs shell damage 5% for every kill. So both of those are available to you guys now. If you're curious about it, you can upgrade any module on any ship for 500 steel to make it epic. And then beyond that, you can turn an epic module into a legendary module with another 2,000 steel. So again, you can do that to any of your ships that you want to, as long as you have the steel. And as you can imagine, if you're running both of them, basically at the end of the match, you have a Frankenstein ship that is just outrageously powerful. You know, but again, you have to earn it. It's tough to get 5 kills and it's tough to get 150,000 damage, but yeah, you have a pretty powerful ship at the end of it. As for our ship build in this one, aiming systems, acceleration, concealment, and of course, reload. I went with Victor Einstein for my pay-to-win setup. Makawa Membelli, there's a lot of different ones you could choose. Just go all DPM if you're in doubt. If I were free to play, that's what I would do. Norman Scott, full DPM. And actually, I played a couple games with Norman. I think he's a solid choice. Fully packed would be better than refill station for a couple reasons, including having an extra radar, an extra defensive AA consumable, and an extra super heal. Yes, Salem has a super heal. That would be better than refill station personally, and the reload is already blazing fast at 5.5 seconds stock, but Victor Einstein has refill station. Anyways, speaking of the first games I played, here are the first 11 game stats up on the board, and the stats show a couple things. One, the ship is super strong. It's easy to play, but also in the right hands, Salem is an absolute menace. In fact, I'm still looking for the drawbacks of this ship, really, especially as it's been released on the same day as Tulsa, but more on that later. But for now, let's see some stats to see what Salem is all about. Health, she's healthy, but again, throw the super heals into the mix and Salem looks like a world beater. With those 2 heals, it's going to put her in the top 2 for effective HP, with the likes of Aegir, Carno, and Neptune. This is now the 2nd best cruiser heal at the tier, just under Neptune. It's going to give you over 18,000 health per heal. And then comes the armor scheme. Really, it's quite good. In fact, for some reason, it looks to be a little bit better than the Des Moines 1 tier higher. Unless I'm just missing something here, guys. It is a Des Moines hull, yeah. So you get the standard 27mm bow, stern, and the same 30mm deck. But Salem has a 30mm upper belt instead of a 27mm upper belt. It means you can bounce 406mm guns when properly angled in your Salem, and the Des Moines cannot do that. If a battleship knows where to shoot at the upper belt, it can overmatch and punch right through. Either way though, with either of the ships, the Citadel is high and out of the waterline, so beware if you go broadside, you can get deleted. On to the guns. They are auto-loading Des Moines guns with American Super Heavy AP, blah blah blah. It means they shoot really fast and they have increased penetration angles. They're very, very strong. Now they are nerfed down a little bit from Des Moines levels. The damage is less per HE shell and AP shell, but the reload is still very, very fast. Faster than Des Moines, it's 5.5 seconds. And you can buff that down closer to 4 seconds pretty easily. We don't have everything put into reload during this match here, but by the end of it, I think we have sub 4-second reload, but we'll have to look and watch the replay here. I might be talking out of my keister. But let's take a look at those DPM numbers to see what we're dealing with. And she is now 2nd place for AP DPM at tier 8 and number 3 for HE, but arguably you could say that she's first in both categories because the shells are 203mm, so of course they're going to deal more pin damage than the light cruiser shells, who will be shattering quite a lot. So very, very powerful in damage output, and this game in the background should showcase that pretty well. Moving on, the AA. Going from the stock check tree hole numbers, Salem now has the most potent damage per second at the tier. If you look at the numbers, all of her AA fires that strong with that high of DPS all the way out to 5 kilometers. So it's really, really strong. And if you use the DFAA consumable from my testing, hitting the consumable will absolutely make mincemeat out of enemy squadrons. So pretty strong from my experience. It's almost like what DFAA is meant to do. It's what you want it to do on every ship that has it. But Salem actually delivers. It's pretty darn potent. Now, of course, this is an American heavy cruiser, so the next few parts of the stats are kind of, meh. Speed, 33 knots. It's not fast, but really honestly, it gets the job done. With the speed flag, you're close to 34, so you can get around the map pretty easily, run other ships down, escape from battleships. It's decent, it's fine, it's nothing to really complain about. But by tier 8 cruiser standards, it's one of the slowest at the tier, just a half a knot faster. The rudder's average, the turn circle's average. I guess if you really wanted to, you could make it an agile cruiser, but I don't know that I would really see the point in that. What I would throw out is, here at the moment, I'm thinking of making Tulsa an agile cruiser, because again, Tulsa, Salem, they're at the same tier, they're very similar ships, and Salem just looks better in this DPM island camping farming role than Tulsa does. So maybe leaving the Tulsa as an agile cruiser just to have a different type of play style. But more on that later in the week with the Tulsa video. Be sure to tune into that. Finally, concealment is 13 km stock. It's just average. Well, this game went from what I was going to call an absolute loss and almost just set the controller down to kind of bringing it back. So hey, never give up. You never know how the game's going to turn out. And there's just one red left, and let's see if we can clean them up and max out these modules. So if I haven't painted the picture clearly enough, I think Salem is almost as good as Des Moines. Like, it is close. DM has a tiny bit more DPM, better AA, as well as sonar and a much better radar. Yes, it is 9.9 kilometers, while Salem's radar is only 8.5 kilometers. But Salem has better armor and a lot more health when it comes down to throwing the super heal into the mix. I'm not going to say Salem is overpowered, but it's really, really strong at the tier, and also I think it makes Tulsa look a little bit like a wet noodle, if I'm being honest. Like, I really want to enjoy Tulsa, it's a good boat, but I can't see it right now because Salem is sitting in my port at the same tier. And I know I'm foreshadowing a little bit because we haven't covered Tulsa yet, but tune back in later on this week and we will. Salem, I'm going to give it 5 out of 5 stars. This ship can absolutely carry games and get wins on its own, although some team help is much appreciated. Thank you to our teammates in this game. Like mentioned, it's a super simple playstyle with a low skill floor, but yet a high skill ceiling when you're a good player and you know how to handle it. Shout out to my buddy Aaron. He posted a game that was, I don't know, ridiculous, 4,700 base or something outrageous. So yeah, a good player with this ship can just put up insane numbers. Anyways, that was the game. Let me know what you guys think of Salem. I'm curious to hear from you. And if you got any value out of this video at all, please hit the like button. That would help me out a lot. And I'll catch you in the next one. See ya.